That's better. Welcome to the new Scars set. So I found a room, started cleaning it up a bit. It needs a little bit of work still, but it's coming along. But that's what a house party is, a housewarming party is all about, isn't it? Warming up to the new place. With that out of the way, time for business as usual. Hello. Alex, do you want to...
Hello? Check?
Hello? Yeah, we're good. Alrighty. Welcome to our March live stream. We haven't done one of these since January.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Because, we were busy doing stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't get one on Valentine's. Oh, there was a plan for one day, wasn't there?
We were going to, late February, but then we just didn't. It just didn't happen.
I think shooting the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have a guest today. We have Batman joining us.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the darkness.
Thanks.
Thanks. That's real encouraging.
I might take my cowl off at some point, if briefly.
That's pretty big. I don't think you've ever done that before.
Yeah,
that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's a big reveal.
You're just doing it so we get more views, aren't you?
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm really frustrated at the madness in the world, I yank it off.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's a thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I can't wait to see who's underneath the cowl.
We need to make him really frustrated, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So lots and lots of questions that he can't answer.
Okay. So what is Joel Schumacher like in real life?
Horrible.
Okay.
The frustration is building.
How can I get to Gotham City?
In your mind.
That's not a good answer.
It's a magical place.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Alex, do you have any questions for Batman? It's kind of like this rare opportunity. And we're just trying to get his anger level up.
Did you pose and take part in all those video games that they made of you?
Well, they use my image, obviously, and yes, I come in for a quick photo shoot, but I clearly don't have time to do everything everything that's involved in a video game. But usually it's based on my true life experience, right? So they've gotten a lot of footage off security cameras, things of that nature, to include in their creations.
Do they have to pay royalties?
No, they don't. They're royalties.
I guess. Yeah.
That doesn't it frustrate?
I don't know if you know who I am, but I don't need their royalties.
It's the video game world takes it as charity.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you mind cleaning my apartment after?
No!
I can hear that frustration level rising.
Yeah. Have you ever had Alfred make you like an exceptionally weak tea that you're just like, why am I drinking this?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not very good at tea.
Right.
It's not his specialty. He's better at soups. But, I mean, how would I know? Because I barely ever eat what he makes anyways.
It's true.
I'm too concentrated on my search to fight against crime.
Right. How's that going?
Frustrating.
Okay.
Every day I win, but every day I lose.
Hello?
Hello, Alex.
I cut out there. I don't know what happened.
I blame Batman.
Yeah.
No!
Where is that frustration meter at this point? Are we like almost...
Sounds like you want this cowl to come off.
I just want to see you get angry and lose your shit and flip the table.
Oof.
Let me know beforehand though, so I can like save the mic.
I'm actually on my way to celebrate with a group of 1, hopefully 2, 3-year-olds. So I gotta keep it down. Gotta keep myself in check a little bit.
Right.
It's
They don't
called
like it when I smash things.
It's called vodka.
Yeah. Relaxes you.
Yeah, sure. Relaxes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, maybe I will take this off. Are you ready for
Okay.
this?
Yeah, this is
Okay,
pretty
this
big.
big moment.
75 years in the making.
Sweat is
Yeah.
building. It's irritating. Whew. Nice.
Oh, it's just you.
Oh.
Well, that's really underwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's cool. We had Batman on our set.
For a little
Yeah.
while.
Did
He'll
you see
come
him?
Back. He can come back.
Did you see him?
What?
He was
Where-
here just a
Batman?
minute ago.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I missed him?
Yeah.
He's my favorite. He's always been my favorite.
Oh, well.
Oh, maybe
What?
he'll come back.
He's still on your computer. Oh, there he goes. Nice.
Yeah. No, Batman's gone.
I so rarely get to appreciate Batman. For some reason, he's always shows up when I leave.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that sucks.
Like,
I hear he does that.
I'm
as
kind
a
of
thing.
surprised he would maintain as your favorite if he disappoints you so regularly. But yeah, I guess he's got shit to do.
very busy.
Yeah.
Not me.
with those parties and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The birthday party world is a challenging world.
Yeah.
So, what's everyone been up to aside from birthday parties and whatnot, and missing their heroes, and still somehow having having those people be your favorite,
Mm.
even though you're constantly being let down.
Well, I'm
How-
wearing most of their clothes too. I don't know how that.
You admire him that much that you just stole his. How
Yeah.
pissed is he right now that you have all his clothes and he still left? At least you left him with his mask, I guess.
Well, he's moved on from this costume. This is an old school.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Yeah. No, that is true.
I don't think he's worn that one since like the
70s,
70s?
90s. I was gonna say, but
90s. Okay. Yeah, maybe 90s.
do you still have a? I wonder if he still has a Bat credit card.
Oof.
Or did you,
Hopefully
or
not.
did you take that? Did you swipe the card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Been
that's
living
how,
off it ever since.
and that's how we paid for the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be better.
Don't leave home without it. No, him. He's like, don't leave home without it. That's his Batman voice.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like George Clooney. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little.
There's not a whole lot of switching up going on there.
So what else is new with people's lives?
Have you ever heard of
Video
Concept
games,
Bat?
for those who don't know, I play a lot of video games, and world of video games is always new and exciting. And there's old video games, new video games, all kinds of video games for everybody.
Are you looking forward to that movie, Ready Player One?
I'm not sure I heard about that one.
Oh, okay. It's pretty cool. I actually just read the book, but
Oh, did you?
Oh,
you
how
find the book?
was the book?
People, I heard
Um,
someone say it was lame, like on the radio.
I liked it. Yeah, it was fun. But basically, it's this movie is pretty much for the video game generation. Like Spielberg is directing this script about this kid. He basically lives online all day. He lives in
80s
this.
style.
Yeah. It's funny because it takes place in the 2040s, but this eccentric billionaire guy who's dying, his nostalgia is all for the 80s because that's when he grew up. So it's just sort of this virtual landscape. I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, but it's this virtual landscape with all these 80s references in it. And Spielberg's directing it.
I feel-
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I saw the trailer. Yeah.
You probably have. I've seen it a whole bunch of times at work.
It did seem random though a little bit. Like what?
Yeah, I just the first time I saw it, it just really caught me off guard, especially with the whole Spielberg thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all I can think of is pixels when
Right.
when I hear that. So
Well,
I mean, I kind of want to go see it just to have that changed.
yeah, it seems like
But-
it could be a better version of Pixels.
That's kind
Hopefully.
of what I'm thinking. It's just I really hope so.
Yeah.
But it also struck me as, what was it, Imaginarium or Imagination Land or some shit like that.
Of Dr.
Yes.
Parnassus?
Is that the one? It was the...
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus? Right. That's the last movie with Heath Ledger?
I don't think that was the one I'm thinking of. There's another one, and it's this girl goes back and forth between the real world and this other world with a coin that she keeps touching. It has George Clooney in it.
Oh, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one. Yeah, so I mean, it has kind of the whole the video game aspect, kind of like Pixels, but maybe not as bad,
Right.
and also a little bit of Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I feel as well, which that movie was okay until I thought about it, and then I was just disappointed.
Mm.
Well, I guess
And
you could even say Dark Tower. I liked that movie a lot, and it reminded me of Neverending Story, which you're now both sort of reminding me of.
Huh. Weird.
I haven't seen either of those movies.
Neverending Story?
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, Neverending Story I've seen.
And that's
Sorry.
you could say it's like he was entering into a video game world, but it's a book world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the recent Jumanji film was kind of like that too.
Yeah.
They had to
totally.
fight.
I also need to see that. I am really behind on
It was
movies.
really fun.
I also haven't seen The Last Jedi, so
Oh.
you know, there's a lot of movies. I also didn't see Ragnarok
Oh,
or
Ragnarok.
or Black Panther. I haven't seen either of those. As I'm really behind on my movies.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
You had to get up to speed.
Are you waiting for them to come to
Yes.
Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Nope, because I want to go see Infinity War when it comes out in theater, as I've seen every Avengers movie in theater,
Yeah.
like the full-blown Avengers movies.
That new trailer was.
I haven't seen the new
Nice.
trailer. I avoided the new trailer.
Well, you're like,
Oh,
how many things
you're
are going on in this?
one of those, yeah.
No, I'm not one of those. I just haven't gotten around to seeing
Oh, I
it
see.
yet.
So
Yeah.
so now you got to go watch all the trailers for these movies
Yeah,
before you can
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
the movie itself.
yeah, I need to, but I definitely need to watch the movies.
Yeah, Ragnarok and less so Black Panther are definitely build-ups towards Infinity War. So.
I
Yeah.
need to watch Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok's out now, or it's going to
Yeah.
be out very soon, so
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
out
grab that. I think Black Panther's going to still be in theaters before Infinity War.
It's in Cinesphere sometime soon too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to have to check that out before Infinity War,
But
just
it's
so that I
definitely
can.
still in theaters.
I was at a theater for another film post Black Panther, like a week after I saw Black Panther. And there was a lineup like out the door for that movie still. Like
Yeah.
2.5 weeks into its run.
Yeah,
It's-
4
yeah.
weeks it was number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I avoid them too, just because
Right.
I don't want to get stuck there. Of course, I usually go see those movies in like the VIP theater,
Ah,
so I can avoid the lineup people because like
right.
Yeah.
Right.
it's comfortable, but mainly just you don't have to deal with all the bullshit because it's like a 19 plus theater.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I actually remember the first time I saw a VIP movie. It was for Finding Dory. So I had to prove I was over 19 to watch a children's movie. But it's, yeah.
I'm surprised that was in VIP.
Well, I am and I'm not because I guess like it is aimed at kids, but there was so far between the two movies that a lot of the people going to go see it would be adults, I guess.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Was just like everyone who's seen Finding Nemo when it came
Yeah,
out
exactly.
is now going to go see Finding Dory because
Exactly.
yeah, how could you not?
Yeah.
And also, it's a Pixar movie, so
Yeah.
adults go and see those too.
Yeah, they're top of their game always. So
Well, Toy Story 4 is probably going to be like
What?
full on Oscar caliber. eh?
What?
yeah,
They're doing.
they're doing it.
When's that coming out?
2019 next year.
See, you're smiling, so I kind of think you're bullshitting, but you brought it up, so.
It's true.
Like,
I don't have a solid fact, but I'm pretty darn sure I heard about that.
Toy Story is
It's-
the one thing in this world I don't fuck around about. So
I don't know how I feel about that. I really like the ending of 3. Like, it was sad and everything, but, like, I thought it ended it well.
yes,
That whole movie was just, like, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie. Again, I liked it, but just. Yeah, wow, it was dark.
I saw the first movie again a couple months ago for no exaggeration, probably the 300th time.
Yeah.
I used to watch it every day when I was a kid in the 90s.
Yeah.
And like there's still lines in that movie where like the jokes are so layered that I appreciate it so much more now. I mean, I loved it back then, but there's jokes in there now that are just like mind-blowingly clever.
And that's why I like Pixar movies, because you can go back as an adult and watch them later, and there's
Yeah.
like all these jokes.
Yeah.
Even certain Disney movies, like early '90s, the '90s Disney movies,
Yeah.
have the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can go back as an adult and watch it. Like Lion King has this whole other level going on. Also, there's a lot of questions that I begin asking as an adult when I start watching
Oh,
things
yeah.
like, you know, Lion King.
Oh yeah. Which is also coming out again next year. A remake
Live action?
directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a live action, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Like Beauty and the Beast idea?
Yeah.
Aladdin, too.
Aladdin's coming out.
Jungle Book came out a few years back, live action.
Yeah.
Did either of you see that?
Yeah, it was good.
Any of
Some
you?
bits.
I thought it was good. There's a few moments that I didn't like. Like I'm really bad with the character names. So, but one of the characters, like his death near the beginning. One of you should help me out with the name here.
Panther or something?
Yeah. In the very beginning, the death.
Panthro?
I think so.
No, Panthro's from Thundercats.
No, the good one though. Like when he got killed,
Right.
and then they just sort of skipped, like, it was this far shot, and then you just see him like falling down and like dead,
Right.
and that was it. That was all they did for the death,
Yes.
and that really pissed me off because like that's supposed to be a really big moment.
I see. I guess it is still a Disney film though, so they couldn't show anything too devastating.
You've seen the original Jungle Book though, right?
Yeah, but that came out 50 years ago. The world's gotten.
Yeah.
The original Bambi apparently did have a scene where you see the hunter dead, but they cut it out because it was seen as too intense.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame that they like cut things out now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always a shame.
Well, but then it makes for DVD special features and all that.
Assuming that they actually go and put things in special features. Like, I wouldn't be annoyed if it was a special feature with the Jungle Book. You go get the Blu-ray or whatever, and
Sees full death.
yeah, like you see the full death, and it's just like there's a version where like that's a big moment. I might not be as annoyed, but I don't think that exists. I don't think they made that version because it's an expensive thing to do
I
for
imagine
a
so.
bonus feature.
Yeah. I imagine so.
Well, that's like almost you can get into future movies where you can choose which part of the world you watch at any given moment. It's like choose your own adventure movies.
Oh yeah, those.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like I thought of that with Terminator 2, where you're like, oh,
Such a new world of like movies and whatnot.
Huh.
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to navigate your movie. Unfortunately, it's like virtual reality stuff is not a normal home thing yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you have things like the Oculus and whatnot, mainly for gaming.
Yeah. They
So
have that for like.
it's
yeah.
there, but like it's not common enough that you could go and you could make like a movie of something, and have that be like a mainstream kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
Virtual
very, very
virtual
small
reality is
box.
actually something I know a little bit about, and if I may share that the PlayStation virtual reality is actually the best-selling VR headset. I think it makes up something like 50+% of VR sales, but most people don't know that in order to target smoother virtual reality, which is at higher frame rates, they actually target 90 frames per second when it comes to PlayStation. That type of hardware really can't handle a great experience. So I don't know if you've used the PlayStation virtual reality, but it's the image quality is really simplistic. It's very low end. And even on PS4 Pro that ups the quality, it's still a relatively low end experience. So as far as virtual reality becoming mainstream and becoming really up to snuff with, say, the kind of quality we get from regular videos in this day and age, which would be like 4K, up to 60 frames a second. Although movies are shot at 24, technically we can go 4K, 60 frames per second is mainstream now. VR is really far behind. So I just thought I'd share that. So we're not really very developed in that department unless you're willing to spend a lot of money. And then even then, you're not looking at a great experience.
And that's
Yeah.
sort of exactly why, like, the thoughts cross my mind. It'd be kind of cool to create something like a short film or something in VR, but again, it's just the technology is not where it needs to be, and it's not as popular as it needs to be. Because even if you have the whole PS4 headset part, it's only set up to work with the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yep.
not like you can watch videos and that kind of thing. Not in the same way.
And it's very demanding. It's very graphically demanding. So, I mean, really to have a really quality VR experience, the average person can't really afford to do that.
And do you think that's something that will evolve over time, or do you think there are like limits? Because I sometimes think like, what the heck? Shouldn't we be more advanced in a lot of different types of technology and research and stuff? But it seems like I don't know. It seems so slow sometimes.
That's a really good point. And I like to talk about 3D when people bring up that type of technology and advancement conversation, because 3D at home really didn't catch on. And that was something that just sort of fizzled out. And now really people don't care that much about having 3D because it wasn't that groundbreaking. The novelty kind of came and went. But so I would say not all technologies, have a receptive audience. So,
And are like practically applicable.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost your audio.
hello,
Very-
hello, hello.
Yeah, you're here. You're good.
Okay. I was actually cutting in and out quite a few times. So if I disappear there for a sec, I don't know what happens. It just drops and then I can't hear you guys for a little while and then I end up getting out and coming back in. But anyway,
Huh, odd.
But yeah, it's funny. 3D and VR are technologies that have come and gone in the past. In the 80s, VR seemed like some sort of big possibility, or maybe into the 90s, like Virtua Fighter.
Yep.
Okay,
video
yeah.
games
Yeah.
and stuff,
For sure.
and just not.
Yeah, eventually it just kind of fizzles. So yeah, I think sort of watching things in like 4K HD, that sort of thing, the way we consume media now will always be a thing.
Mm.
And like as fun as it would be to be able to interact with it, I just don't think the audience exists for that.
Yeah.
It's still weird for people too to put a big thing on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go see a movie, I'm probably not really feeling like putting a big thing on my head.
I'm not jumping on the VR bandwagon until you can directly beam it into my brain. Like,
Which
I
is not
I won't pay for anything less.
entirely impossible. I heard a CBC report too on they can basically read your mind, and it's like at the initial stages in the research. There again, I'm like, why is it not more advanced? But basically, they can take an EEG off you, and they could use MRI too, but in this case, they were using EEG, and they could make images from the EEGs that they got off your brain, so they could tell what you were thinking about. Faces. They
That's
can
cool.
determine faces, and they're working on determining text, so you could like write without your hands.
There's a House episode that has that,
Oh,
where
wow.
they use the person has, I think it's locked in syndrome. I think it is.
hello,
And so
hello.
hello.
Sorry, I cut out there. I missed half of what Sean was saying. I don't know if it's this video that's causing the issue. I'm going to try without the video to see if I can hang on for longer because it seems like I can't go even like 5 minutes without cutting out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But yeah, no, the episode of House where they did the whole EEG thing, exactly what you were saying, and they could like see the image. Like it took like 8 hours of scanning the brain, when being shown images in order for it to sort of get a baseline, and then after that, it was able to project like what the person was seeing. It was really cool. So exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, and in this case, it was they had actually done it, and then obviously immediately it brings up slews of moral questions and this and that. And can it be done on you without you agreeing to do it?
Huh.
I think that's a tough one, especially like. So they did it off one EEG.
Well, I would have to get into the details of the thing, like what you just said, how you have to do a ton of it to get a baseline. And all
Yeah.
that sounds realistic.
I would think that would have to be like a lot of that. So like you would know if they were doing that, but once they have that baseline, yeah, I mean they could keep it and use that.
Yeah, and I want to say they were showing them one face even, and then recognizing it on the other end. So it's not like they can just read absolutely anything out of your brain. Again, like Alex was saying, the technology is just still slowly advancing.
You'd think
Yeah.
that we'd be putting more money into like researching this kind of thing, but I mean, really, what's its practical application at this point in time?
Well, reading the brain has a lot of practical applications currently.
That's true.
But like
Okay,
criminals
okay.
and stuff,
Yeah.
determining if whether they were actually at a crime scene or not.
Okay.
And stuff
I was
like
just
that.
thinking that the justice
Yeah,
system.
Yeah, the justice system. Okay,
You-
I was thinking more like, I don't know, everyday kind of use. But yeah, if we're gonna use it for something like the justice system, then
Well,
yes,
and the one you mentioned as well, the one
medical.
Stephen Hawking, for example. Like I just can't believe that Stephen Hawking wouldn't have been up to his neck in that research.
You would think so, because that would just be amazing.
Yeah.
I still don't fully understand how he's able to speak through a robot.
That is not information that I know.
How he was able to, excuse me, rest
Yeah.
in peace, Stephen Hawking.
Love how we just all took a moment.
But I never fully understood how he was able to speak through that.
No, it's neat for sure.
I should really know that considering I watched that movie
Which movie?
where Eddie Redmayne, Redmayne?
Oh yeah. The
I don't
theory
know
of
if
everything.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was hoping
I
it
should
would
really know
explain
that.
it as
Was he
well.
touching something? It was something to do with his finger tapping, I think, but yeah.
Which
That
is,
would seem right.
but he's able to say just about anything. It's not like he's saying yes or no. I mean, with his finger tapping, he can say absolutely anything. Wow.
Maybe he's really good at Morse code.
Just constantly always typing.
I think that would get something going. Like, I mean, they talk about your thumbs when you play too many video games. I feel like that would get something going in his hands. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, just get
arthritis,
the
all
cal-
kinds of shit.
Yeah. No, I think if he was tapping Morse code the whole time, yeah, that would definitely be like arthritis in the finger.
Yeah. Maybe his eyes too. I heard something about its eye movement. There's technology that exists that uses your eyes.
Oh.
I think it could be where you're looking on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell where you're looking on a screen that's identifying letters, but
Yeah.
still there, you're letter by letter.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, that's still.
Yeah.
That takes way too long. This feels like something to research at some point in time.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
We'll all just like after the live stream just start researching, Stephen, and then we'll come back for the AMA at 7 and be like, "Well, we have all this information now."
Yeah, maybe people will comment and explain it all.
Yes, if you happen to know this information, leave
Yeah.
a comment.
Drop it in the comments. Do some work out there.
Yeah, come on, do some research for us, folks. You have to get going though soon, don't you?
Yes, I'm soon. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure you're aware.
Maybe we can segue into Riley. You can talk a little bit about Riley.
Ah, you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our segue.
Okay.
Way to be smooth about it.
That was a pretty slick segue. Just literally spell it out as a segue. Funny.
But yeah, so we recently did a trailer,
Yeah.
and what did you want to know?
I wanted to hear a little bit more about the character of Riley, I guess. Even having been in the trailer, I wasn't entirely aware of
Yeah.
this character. This seems like a really interesting plot development.
It is,
If
and-
only in the future.
And if you'd watched the extended trailer, you'd know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing. Kinda.
I did watch it.
It's at the end. It's
Yeah.
like it's the last bit at the end, and it is
Yeah.
kind of unclear what's going on there, which is sort of the point.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. No.
We wanted to invoke a little bit of mystery, we wanted Riley to be just enough of an enigma to want you to keep watching,
Mhm.
just being like, who is she?
Or watch the live stream where we reveal it.
Yeah.
But no one knew that. Not even we knew that was going to happen.
It's true.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't really know how much I want to dive into the character.
Well, no,
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah,
we
if you
haven't
don't-
even said who and what it is.
No, well, I mean, so Riley is the transition version of Kyle,
Mm.
Yeah.
and who are we kidding? No one watches these anyway. No, people watch them. The numbers just aren't like trailer numbers high
Mm.
for them, but yeah,
But we have Batman in this one, so that
that's
should
true.
that should
Yeah, it's
help
just
our
like,
numbers a bit.
alright.
Batman's coming back.
Well, I guess Sean will never know details about Riley. Sean just left.
Yeah, I don't know where he went.
Batman will find out everything. He's a great detective.
Yeah.
I mean.
He's the world's greatest detective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right. There's a 1-year-old somewhere who needs some cheering up, and maybe even a little story read to them. There's no one better than Batman to take care of that.
Is this what your life has descended into now? Now that you've cleaned up all the crime, this is all that's left for you?
What story are you gonna read? Like,
They didn't give me a storybook yet, so I'm thinking I'll glance around in the coloring book
Oh.
and tell stories about my escapades. 1-year-old appropriate stories.
Aw.
Maybe a lot of photos too. I don't even know if you can put a superhero tattoo on a 1-year-old.
no,
On the forehead.
no.
Do you have your tattoo kit with you?
Oh, I do. Yes. I
Cool.
even have little obstacle courses and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Are you going to train them to be your next Robin?
That's the idea.
Alright.
Hopefully there's some 3-year-olds.
That's the age limit. It's 3.
Well, 7's even better.
Oh, okay.
9's getting a little old.
You've really lowered your standards there.
Wow.
1-year-olds don't even stand up.
Yeah, that's true. They can be kind of useless at fighting crime, I would think.
So, like Robin.
Have a great
Alright.
day, guys.
Thanks,
See
you
ya,
too.
Batman.
See you.
And I'll call you if I need you. Watch for the signal in the sky.
Will do.
Okay.
Have fun at your party, Batman.
And tell your neighbors that I was here to help you, not to hurt you.
Okay. I don't talk to too many of my neighbors. I think that would be a weird thing to say with no context.
Just like, yeah, that would be awkward. Just knock on my neighbor's door
Yeah.
and just. So yeah, Batman was here to help, not hurt. So, yeah. Like, what was? I don't even know who you are.
Actually, this is funny in kind of a weird way, but my old neighborhood where I used to live a couple months ago, there used to be this woman who, probably in her 60s, I would guess maybe even as old as 70 years old. She used to walk up and down the street all the time in this sort of like classic like Adam West style Batman suit. And she used to walk up the street all the time, and she was just looking. Basically her business was that she, like, people would take a selfie with her and she would just charge them for it. But it was kind of in the same way that she was like basically just begging for money and saying like, if you give me money I'll give you a photo.
Yeah, but I can get behind that though.
So yeah,
Like, I have issues with being on the street and just
Yeah.
sort of like, just like lying there and just like the thing of money out.
yeah.
I have issues with that. But like, if you're gonna walk up and down and like you're gonna have like take a photo and like
Yeah.
give me money for that, I am all for that. In fact,
Yeah.
I'll probably do it.
She was more
Just
like,
'cause, like,
yeah, it was like she was more kind of like those characters at like Times Square that you like pose for photos for.
yeah,
It was like super not legit, but like kind of doing something, I guess.
yeah, and it's just like that's clever and that's creative and that's
Yeah,
thinking outside the box
yeah,
or thinking outside the tin cup.
yeah. It's true.
Okay, well, I thought that was funny. Glad to see my joke fell short.
They might be laughing.
Batman might have found it funny.
They might be laughing. We just can't hear them.
No, that was interesting. Rain, I thought that was really interesting what you said about, people on the street. I agree with you about that. I really think the government should do more to not only stop that.
And you cut out.
Oh.
I guess the government didn't like that much. Well, while we
I
wait for him to
understood.
come back,
I agreed with the point he was trying to make.
that was agreeing with my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the government doing
Yeah.
it, yeah. No, I think it's... Wow, we got political suddenly.
Yeah.
Batman leaves and suddenly gets all serious. You'd think it'd be like the other way around.
It's
Hello?
true.
Hello?
Oh, hey,
You're
there
back.
he is.
Oh my God, I cut out and I said all this stuff. I don't know how much of it you caught.
We heard
Maybe
about-
none of it.
We heard about. I agree with you, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And then it cut out after that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
all right, just
And you were
to just to
talking about
finish
the
my thought,
government.
it'd be good if the government did something to prevent that and to offer alternatives for people who are in that position. Because it's just the point I was making was there's no reason for those people to stay afloat from the public giving loonies and toonies when the government should really be helping them out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the idea of that, of doing it properly. The idea of basic income is that everyone gets a certain amount and it covers your basic cost of living.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the Ontario government, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, but is kind of, botching that by replacing the welfare system, or I guess social assistance system, with that instead. So essentially, if you make under a certain amount, you get basic income as opposed to everyone getting basic income to sort of help.
Right. Yeah.
Which, like, that kind of defeats the purpose because it's this nice system that everyone has where, like, you have a baseline of income. So if you lose your job, it's not like you're not going to lose your home because you have that baseline of
Mhm.
income coming in.
Right.
Well, people still have to apply for those things, though, right? The government won't give you any handouts if you're not looking for them. So
Well, it's not even a
I think that's
handout.
maybe a
mean,
bit of a problem
idea-
also.
the idea of
Oh, well, I
basic-
wouldn't. Well, maybe you're right about not calling it that, but you know what I'm saying. If you don't
Yeah.
apply for unemployment, you won't get any unemployment, right?
Oh, yeah. If you're talking about unemployment, yes. If you're talking about something...
Which is kind of unfortunate.
It is, and even with unemployment, they still make that a bit of a difficult process. I was on unemployment
Yeah.
for most of 2016, and
Yep.
yeah, it was a process. Luckily, like, they didn't give me a hard time, but I've heard of other cases where like you have to constantly be reporting what's going on, and they make it this whole huge process.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I can kind of
Oh
get.
yeah.
They don't want to, they don't want people to abuse it, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go back to the trailer then, since we haven't really had a chance to discuss it, and this
Sure.
conversation's fizzling out.
Yeah.
It's just all quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was everyone's experience like on that?
It
I
was.
really loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite moment?
There were some really good scenes with Sean in there. You know what? Let's do a quick recap on the character names.
Sure. So your character's name was Richard.
Richard, got that much.
Michael's character's name was Kyle.
Kyle. That's right.
Sean's was Alex. Lisa's was Serena. Sarah was Violet. Greg was Bill. I always confuse those. And
Kyle and Alex, I thought, had some really powerful scenes there in the trailer.
which one?
And there was the one, well, without getting too in depth about the storyline.
No, go for it.
Sorry, hang on one moment. And I'm back. Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, so the scene where Alex wakes up next to that dude and is kind of like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah.
I really like that little exchange, that whole section there, because, well, it touches on a couple different things, but not the least of which that I think is important to that scene is substance abuse, which I think some people don't really view, alcohol use as really a problem unless you're an addict. But there's a lot of people that suffer from abuse issues and not addiction issues when it comes to alcohol. And I really like that scene because I think it's really encompassing an interesting thing. Now he's fighting his own identity issues, of course. So that's, maybe almost unrelated, related in this scene, but unrelated in the sense that they're two separate issues. And I think that's really interesting. That whole scene really captured me.
Well, and the whole alcohol bit too. I mean, that has a lot to do with his whole. So I mean, they are connected in that he doesn't really want to deal with his identity issues.
Yeah.
So he ends up, drinking a lot, and in the process creates a whole new problem for himself by accident.
Pretty much.
Michael?
Yeah, I really liked seeing the scenes with Alex and his his unintentional hookup there too, because this being an ensemble show, not all of us.
And of course, I got cut out mid thing there. Okay, well, anyway, I think I got my point across there. So
You did.
the whole documentary basically conveys the point that it's not just one way or the other, and you can have issues with abusing alcohol and not being an addict. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting.
Sorry, what is
So I
this?
thought that scene was strong.
What's the documentary you're talking about? We didn't catch the name.
Yeah, good question. I think it's called Risky Drinking, and it's free on Rogers Movie Network. So I don't know if you're with Bell or Rogers. Usually they're the same. It's called Risky Drinking, and it's a fantastic documentary. And anyway, and they cover a few different people, and I could just replay all the people in my mind that I knew in university, and it's all fun and games when you're 19, but when you're older, it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
to be downing big bottles of liquor. You know what I mean? It's unusual. You know what I mean? And you don't
Yeah.
realize when you're a kid,
Yeah.
but you get older, and some people don't ever leave that. There's still a lot of people like that. So,
Totally.
and
totally.
yeah, and this documentary does a great job just sort of conveying the point that you don't have to be an alcoholic to have a serious drinking problem. which
Right.
is really interesting. So,
Right.
For sure.
anyway.
All right.
Mhm.
Anyways, Michael, your thing that you were talking about?
Yeah, so it was exciting for me to watch this trailer for the first time because it being an ensemble show with a bunch of different leads, like I wasn't there every moment of it. So seeing scenes with like Sean and Sarah and Alex, yourself, and Lisa, and everyone in the cast that I wasn't actually there for the first time, that was really cool. Knowing that they were like sort of part of this same intertwining storyline, but having not actually seen the footage yet was pretty interesting. And that the opening shot of our trailer is the two of us, or Sean is knocking on the door and he's trying to get me ready to go and stuff like that. And I've just been picturing that scene in my mind for so long because that was part of, I'm sure you won't mind me saying
No,
this,
go
but
for it.
that was part of the very first audition script like I ever read. So it was just funny kind of seeing it come full circle and actually saying these lines on camera after all this time.
I can imagine. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
seeing the scenes that we were shooting. Like, I've been with it for so long.
Yeah.
And then to suddenly see these scenes coming to life, like the Riley moment was particularly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Just because episode 9 has been with me for as long as the first episode has been.
Yeah.
And so to see like these moments come to life, especially down the road, it's so big. And it's just, I don't know, it's a weird experience
Yeah.
to just be there and watching it. But also, like, I'm in my director's space,
Yeah.
so I didn't really get to see the trailer until it was finished. And
Right.
like I didn't really get to see it until like a week after it released, because
Yeah.
I had to step away from it for a while in order to come back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the moment. A week after it was released is the moment where it was more powerful for me
Yeah.
to see things come to life like that.
Yeah. I had a similar thing with Riley where obviously we did some pre-work together on her look or whatever. But like I was kind of just sitting in a makeup chair for a long time and I didn't have my eyes open for all that long. So like kind of waking up an hour and a half later and looking like a completely different person, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, how was that? Like, I'm curious to hear more about that experience.
I was warned that those false lashes were gonna hurt, but they didn't at all. I have naturally long lashes for a man, anyways. I've been told that on a number of occasions. It was, yeah, it was a hard to describe, but it was a really, really interesting experience. I'm pretty zen. I don't mind sitting in a makeup chair for a long time, but yeah, definitely the first time I embodied that Riley character, like walking out on that stage and stuff, it just felt like kind of like weirdly like freeing. I was playing Riley for the first time too, so I was trying to like embody how Kyle and Riley are different. So I was trying to make her like kind of a confident woman. Yeah, it was quite something.
And it really showed through too. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was particularly cool to see the character come to life too. Like a character that I like before we got the wig, I had a hard time sort of picturing the character.
Right.
After I cast you.
Right.
I had a really hard time picturing. There was another person who I was going to cast. It was between you and the other person. And with them, I had no problem seeing Riley.
Oh.
Like, it was really easy to see. And
Right.
with you, it was difficult, but you just played the character better.
Oh, okay. I'll take it.
So it became a moment, and we sort of, we'll figure it out when we get there. And then when we did the trailer this year, it's like, I guess we're there.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. And then I still couldn't picture it. Brought on Stephanie, and she had some really good ideas. So we had talked in length about the look of Riley.
Right.
And then we went and got your wig, and that was sort of the moment where I could begin seeing the character
Right.
come to life. And
Yeah.
then when you're in the makeup chair, that was when I was nervous again, because like I don't know
Right.
how this is gonna look.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, okay, now
I-
I can picture it. And then when I wrote episode 9, I was able to sort of picture that whole exchange a lot clearer.
Yeah. I remember we shot a few scenes at the studio that day, and like Riley, we were saving for the closer to the end of the day because that was going to take more time to do. And there was just this kind of just like offhand moment where we kind of just like looked at each other and we're just like, oh, this is it. This is happening right now.
Sorry, who looked? Oh, you and I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like standing in the hallway and we're like, oh, okay. I guess we're doing this now.
Yep. Right, we were just by the craft table when that happened. I remember that now.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, so it's this moment. It wasn't like a huge sort of like, and now it's finally the moment.
Yeah.
It's just sort of, this is happening.
Yeah, it was pretty low key.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, we were on like day 3 of our shoot.
Yeah, so we were more like wrapped up in the production than.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, for me, it was just all about like, okay, what is the next shot going to be? What is the next shot? It's tough to appreciate moments when you're actually like shooting stuff, I find. And I wish I could appreciate things as we're shooting.
Yeah.
And I've heard about people discuss this before too, and I feel the same way, where it's just like, it'd be great to be able to like be in the moment and enjoy the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's just so much stress going on, and there's so much everything else that you're just kind of like, okay, let's just get through this. Okay, it's over. And then,
I hope that I'm attributing this correctly. I think this is a quote by Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, but I'm pretty sure he's the one who said that pain is temporary, film is forever.
mm-hmm. I believe that's the right.
So it rings pretty true. The more stuff you work on, you'll have days on set where you're just like, oh man, like this is gonna take forever. Oh man, this is gonna suck having to do this 100 times. And then you watch it on screen and you just like, you kind of forget.
Yeah, no, it's exactly it. It's an amazing experience, I find.
Yeah, you're kind of like, that was worth it.
Yeah,
That's good.
And that's why we keep doing it again and again and again.
Yeah.
It's not because we enjoy this. I mean, there is a certain component of enjoying the stress.
Right.
But it's not necessarily because we enjoy the process per se.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yes.
But it's especially enjoying the end product and knowing that all that pain that you went through was worth it to create this beautiful looking thing. And I mean, I think the trailer looks really good. I like it.
Yeah. And hopefully, if you're listening to it, you've watched it or been convinced to watch it.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it, you should go watch it after the live stream.
Yeah.
Stay till the end and then go watch the trailer.
We'll probably link it somewhere, yeah? Or
In the description
Okay.
when this goes public.
Cool.
Guys, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to depart. I do work on Sundays, and I've got a bit of a drive ahead of me to get to work.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure hanging out. That was a really nice piece you said there, Michael. And I'm so looking forward to our next shoot. Rain, could you please let me know when, timeline-wise, you're thinking we can move forward?
Yeah, I'll have a better idea come April. We also
Awesome.
have that photo shoot in May.
That's right. Okay,
I'm still
please do
waiting on
send me
that.
those details.
I think I'm
Looking
still
forward to
waiting.
all of it.
I think-
And thanks, guys, and have a good rest of the weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks, you too.
See you soon, Alex.
See you.
All right, take
Bye.
it easy.
We'll probably take our headphones off now, since it's just you and me.
Okay.
Oh. I think he's still connected. Looks like he's still connected. Oh well.
Okay, I'll take these off.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So where were we before we were? Oh yeah, I was gonna say that I'm still waiting on details from him, but he kept interrupting me, so I couldn't ask him to reply to my damn email.
Funny.
Yeah.
Irony.
Any more thoughts on the trailer stuff? Favorite moment during shooting?
During shooting. I always learn a lot on set because I always try to talk to as many people as I can on set. Many of these people I was meeting for the first time, so I don't know a lot about music, especially not about indie music, though I do tend to appreciate it. I kind of liked just sitting there during our downtime and people like Stephanie, our makeup artist, or you, or whoever would just be like, you guys want to throw this album on? And I'd be like, yeah, sure.
We did that while we were doing the makeup shoot.
Yeah.
Matthew's playing some stuff, and then like Stephanie was playing some stuff, and Matthew showed us something, and then I ended up like taking control of it for a while.
Yeah.
And it's like, it has to be broody music. It's like, great, I have a whole playlist of broody music. I write to a playlist of birdie music.
Yeah. And also filming in that hotel was really fun. And kind of a
That's
weird.
that's a word for it.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, there was just something about actually being there, being on a location. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
I prefer studio locations. I used to kind of like knock places for not doing on location and be like doing stuff on like a soundstage
Right.
or in a proper studio, and then I got to do stuff in a proper studio, and it's like, yeah, I can see why you'd want to shoot stuff on like in a studio or a soundstage.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Right.
How much of this can we do in a studio? Which is why, like right now, we're looking at somewhere like Digital Canaries. We're like, how much can we shoot here?
Yeah.
And it turns out we can shoot a third of our first episode there,
Oh, okay, cool.
so it's not bad.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't have too much else to say.
Yeah, nor do I, really.
All right.
Just if you've been listening to this, we want to thank you for tuning in. There's some cool stuff on our Scars YouTube channel. Both cuts of the trailer, the IPF trailer. We're trying to garner as many views on that as we can throughout the month of March.
So go ahead.
The extended trailer, which has some more tittling plot points, I suppose.
Titillating.
That's the word. And there's a new video up on there if you're interested in post-production stuff about how the VFX were done for the Riley Kyle scene. Yeah.
Yep. And there's also going to be, starting next week, we're going to be releasing once every 2 days. We'll be starting Thursday. We'll be releasing the individual scenes. So there are scenes from the extended trailer that are a little bit longer, because when we went and we shot the trailer, we shot entire scenes as opposed to just what's in the trailer.
Right.
So extended trailer has extended versions of those scenes, but there are some moments that still aren't quite all in there.
Right.
So if you're interested in that, those scenes will begin going up. If you are a Patreon or Kickstarter person, you'll get access to those a day before everyone else does. So all the more reason to, become a Patreon member. And also this week we'll be opening up the Discord server to public. We'll be having a separate section for Patreon and Kickstarter, so you still have that. But the Discord server will be open to the public this week. So keep an eye out for that link.
Cool.
I seem to recall I have deja vu about saying something like this before, except it was probably just about the Kickstarter people now get access to it.
Yeah.
And now every live stream it's going to be like more and more. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
All right. So thank you for joining us today. We'll be back at 7 p.m. to do our AMA, or Ask Us Anything. We have a bunch of questions that we've gotten and answer. We'll answer them and we'll expand upon our answers a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So tune into that, 7 p.m., same place, different event thing. It'll pop up on our page. Until then, though, have a great rest of your day. Stick around to the end to see the names of all the people who have supported us. Hey there, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for taking the time to watch these videos. It really means a lot to us. To everyone who has or currently is supporting us financially, thank you so much. You have no idea what this means to all of us. I have some names to read out. I apologize in advance if I butcher it. Kai, Andreas Nelsmuller, Melanie Hernandez, Colin Weatherby, Primal Screens Media, John Freewan, Mark Grasdell, Heath Dobson, Allison Kingsley, and Nasha Zahariva. Thank you again.